An older woman came into my job today, asking for a cup of coffee. I said, absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely, ma'am. I would like nothing more than to serve you this coffee on this fine Sunday, ma'am. I give her a coffee. Now she's asking for cream. I say, absolutely, ma'am. Let me know when. Let me know when, mama. Let me know when. I'm here with it. She says, okay, give me a tiny, teeny bit off to start off with. I said, I got you, girl. I got you. I go, doot. Teeny tiny. Teeny tiny. This woman looks up at me. She smirks. She chuckles. You want to be here all day, sweetheart? You must not be. Excuse the fuck out of me? Excuse the fuck out of me? You said teeny tiny. You said, in fact, please give me a teeny tiny bit to start off with. And that's what the fuck I did. So I take a step back to reflect on my choices. Then I come back up to her. And I say, I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm so sorry. Here's some more cream. Boom, 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 boom. Sweetie, that's too much cream. I know. Oh, I know. Enjoy your coffee, bitch.
I could have never predicted what I witnessed tonight, and honestly, some of you have zero decency and need to stay your asses home. These two girls come in, they look like they're around my age, right? And for reference, I'm 20, so they look really young. Like they could have just gotten out of high school young. And so they're sitting there having a good time, drinking, talking, living their best lives. Well, then their food comes up, and our food runner goes to take it out to them. So just to give you a visual, I have 3 booths here, and then they're on this side, so they're like 2 booths away from me, and on either side of their booths is families with kids, okay? So they've got at least 4 kids surrounding them. The food runner drops off their food, and one friend is showing her other friend a video of her getting fucking railed. With audio, and it wasn't like turned down either. First of all, to be showing that to your friend at all is fucking weird. To be doing that in public with audio, and her phone was just flat on the fucking table. There was no trying to hide that shit. And then to do it with kids around you. You need to be put on a list. That's fucking weird. What is wrong with you? The entire kitchen was laughing at y'all, by the way. We were all laughing at you because what is wrong with you?
I am a firm believer that retail is way better than a fast food job. So tonight I'm working drive-through, and this lady, she pulls up. It's literally the first, probably 45 minutes of my shift. She asked for a meal, but she wanted to substitute the fries for cheese fries. That's what she told me on my speaker. So then I put it on the screen, and then she was like, no, cheese fries. And I'm looking at my screen, and I'm like, did I not put cheese fries? But I was polite about it. I was like, no, I did put the cheese fries on for your order. And she was like, no, cheese fries. Just being disrespectful and getting annoyed with me. And I didn't really quite get that she was saying, no, I don't want the cheese fries. But either way, girl, just say, no, I didn't want cheese fries. I wanted this. So then she's like, no, I wanted chili cheese fries. So then I put chili cheese fries. She's like, no, I want... She started bringing up potatoes and shit, and I'm like, bro. She was like, no, never mind. I'll just have the regular fries with that. So I was like, okay, whatever. She was just getting so annoyed with me, and I'm like, girl, you're sitting up here, you keep changing what you want, and then you're mad when I put it on the screen. You're like, no, I want this, I want this. I think she just wanted a fucking free meal, honestly. So she gets up to the window, she's talking to the girl that's doing the cash or whatever, and then the girl told me, she was like, oh, she said she wanted a chili, and I'm like, well, she did not say chili. And someone else had a headset on, and she was literally asking, does she want chili cheese fries or what? This lady said fries, bro. I swear to God. Don't sit up here and be difficult and then get an attitude when we aren't getting your order correct because you want to be difficult and a bitch. And this is why I say Retail is better than fast food. Thank you for coming to my freaking TED Talk.
Why are old men the most entitled little fuck-ass toddlers ever? I have this regular who comes in. He has been for the past 7 years. He uses a cane, so we walk his drink out to him usually. Out of the kindness of our hearts. It's not mandatory, it's not required. When new people get hired, I train them to walk his drink out, just so that they know. The problem with this is, I open 5 days a week, and there's another girl who opens the other 2 days a week. So, new people usually don't open. They usually don't see this man, ever. He usually only ever comes in the morning. So I only see him, and the other girl who opens only sees him. For whatever fucking reason, he decides he wants to start coming in the afternoons on Wednesdays. The girl who's closing, when this man wants to come in, it's been forever since she's trained for an open. She doesn't work in the mornings. So she doesn't remember this man, which is so valid, so valid. Anyways, he comes in the afternoon, orders his drink, says nothing to her about, hey, can you walk out my drink, reminding her. She's hella busy, busting drinks out. We take names, she puts the name on the cup, makes a drink, calls it out, like we do every other fucking drink, so she's doing her job correctly. And instead of just being like, hey, can you walk my drink to my table, even though his friend is he's perfectly capable of doing it, because he'll come up and use the self-serve water fucking station and walk it back to his table by himself. No spilling. Perfectly fine. But instead of asking, like a normal adult human being, he decides to come up to the counter and dump his drink purposefully on the fucking counter and floor. And I know it was purposeful because he admitted to it. He said, yeah, I did it on purpose, and I'm gonna take her tip back. Are we 4? My 4-year-old brother has better manners than that. Better communication skills than that. You're 85. I wasn't here during this time. My other coworker who knows who he is was there, just happened to be there still. So I get filled in after this happens. I wish I would have been there. I wish I would have been there. So I have a game plan to say something to him the next morning. Before I can even get a word out, before I can say good morning, he goes, I know why the closers don't get tipped, because they don't do anything. Bitch, fuck the fuck off. Seriously. You come make a drink. So I say, actually, they do a lot. You could have communicated and used your words like a big boy. He goes, my name was on the cup. His name is the most generic fucking old man name ever. Ever. So I say that. Like, lots of people have that name. You can just communicate and this all could have been avoided. We would appreciate if you didn't spill your drink on purpose and throw a temper tantrum. And he goes, I guess I'll just go through a drive-thru then. I said, good. Okay, fine. Fine with us. Please. We would appreciate if you didn't shit all over the bathroom fucking too. I literally clean this man's shit up 3 times a week, minimum. He still came back. What clearly wasn't clicking to him that he's being a little bitch. So, for the past week, I've been giving him decaf. Yeah. And then on Sunday, I was sitting in the cafe doing computer work, and he comes up to me and is like, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you're giving me decaf. I just have been so tired this week. So I hit him with the gaslighting. No, I would never do that to you. Never. Like, bitch, I have. Fuck you.
Guys, it finally happened. I had a customer make me cry today. And I wasn't even crying because I was like offended or like sad. I was just so fucking mad. And he was so rude. But I'm gonna tell the story. Hi, how are you?
Small cappuccino.
Okay, anything else?
Why don't you just let me finish ordering?
Okay. Was there something else?
Single shot in a large cup.
Okay, and did you just want it in a large cup just for space on the top?
No, what do you mean space on the top? No.
Okay, so then I'm just wondering why it's in a large cup.
Because I want it extra. Bleh.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Bleh.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not too sure what you're saying. Can you repeat that for me?
Dry. I want it extra dry.
Yeah, I can totally do the cappuccino extra dry for you. I'm just verifying it's a small in a large cup.
It doesn't matter why it's in a large cup, okay? She knows how to make it, and she's gonna make it for me, so you don't need to be asking me all these questions.
At this point, I start putting together that he wants it in a large cup because he wants the barista on bar to fill the drink all the way up to the top, which would make it a large dry cappuccino, not a small dry cappuccino. Okay. Yeah, I'll have that right out for you.
And I don't know what you mean by this on top. What are you talking about?
I just said, did you want it in a large cup for space on top? Just because the small, is going to fill it up about halfway.
She's gonna make it, so you don't need to worry about it, okay?
So I go over to the bar, okay? Hey, so for this customer that just put that order in for that small cappuccino in a large cup, I just want to make sure that you are going to make a small cappuccino amount and leave space in there.
So he's like really particular and he wants foam all the way to the top. So we just normally do it for him.
And doing that is how we raise entitled customers. So he ordered a small cappuccino, extra dry, in a large cup. So make the cappuccino extra dry, but there is going to be space. Only put a small amount in there.
You don't need to be talking to her. It's fine. She can do it.
You know what? On second thought, I'm just going to make his drink, okay?
Okay.
She gets it. She makes it all the time, okay? You don't need to come over here and walk her through it.
Thank you, sir. I heard you. Okay, I make the drink. I'm steaming this shit extra fucking dry. I literally have to use 2 different pitchers because I'm making this bitch fucking extra dry because you're not sending it back.
Hey, before you ham it out, just make sure to put cinnamon on it because he's like really weird about cinnamon being on it, even though he never orders it. So just put it on top.
Okay. I put the cinnamon on it, okay? Here you go. Pretend this is a large cup.
Why would I want this? And put some cinnamon on it.
I did put cinnamon on your drink for you, sir.
And this is wrong. You didn't even fill it all the way up. This is why I didn't want you making my drink.
Yeah, so you ordered a small cappuccino in a large cup, so that is a small cappuccino in a large cup?
No, a small cappuccino in a large cup would come with foam filled all the way to the top. This is why I didn't want you making it. You don't even know what you're talking about.
I am more than aware on how to make a small cappuccino. That is exactly what I gave you, and it's extra dry. He's not done. Pretend there's a sleeve on this, takes the sleeve, fucking throws it on the fucking counter.
I don't know why you're giving me all this.
Okay, sir, you do not need to be rude to me. I gave you exactly what you asked for.
No, you didn't, because it's not filled all the way up. You don't even know how to do your job correctly.
Yeah, if it was to come filled all the way up, I would need to ring you up for a large. If you would like to go up and pay for the size difference, I would be more than happy to fill that up for you. At this point also, I'm like, my hands are starting to shake because I'm so fucking mad. Also, we're fucking slammed. There's so many people standing around and they're all just like watching, like, eh.
Next time I'm coming in, you will not be making my drink.
And then he walked off. And then he sat in the lobby, and then I was like shaking so bad, and my eyes started watering because I'm like, this dumbass motherfucker is trying to scam us. Like, you're trying to get a large. So yeah, it caught me out of my element. Normally I love the back and forth with like Karens or like male Karens. But then I was like calling out a drink, my voice is like cracking, and I was like, I think I need to go to the back real quick. But yeah, this dude, he fucking pissed me off. And if he comes back and tries this shit, 1, I'm making his drink again, because sir, you're not getting a large for free. And 2, his ass is gonna get banned.
Genuine question. Why do men believe that they are entitled to a woman just because she's attractive, or that they're attracted to her? A couple weeks ago, I was working a night shift, right? It's like 30 minutes until I get off. And this younger guy walks in the store, right? He's probably like his early 20s, can't be, but just a few more years older than I am. He walks up to the register, I do my little, customer service bit, how are you, how's your day, whatever. He asks me what my name is. I say, it's Chelsea. He says, you don't normally work nights, do you? And in my head, I didn't think much of it, because it is true, I don't normally work nights, I'm normally here in the mornings. But I did find it a little weird that he knew that, because I know most of my regulars. If I don't know them by name, I know their order. I'm always like, oh, that's the guy that always gets a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Or that guy always gets a can of Copenhagen snuff. Like I know my regulars. I know their faces. I didn't really recognize him at all. I was just like, oh yeah, just working a night today. That's all it is. And I keep checking him out or whatever. And he then says, I've been watching you for a while and I'd like to take you out on a date. Didn't love the way he phrased that. So I looked up at him and I told him, oh, I actually have a boyfriend. Trying to be just as nice about it as possible. He stares at me for like a good 15 seconds before going, not lying to me, are you? Whoa. First of all, if you follow me or know me in real life, you know I have a long-term boyfriend that we just had our 1-year anniversary, which is what I told him. I then proceeded to say, I'm not lying to you. I have a long-term boyfriend, we just had our anniversary. And I'm hoping that's the end of it, right? So whatever, I give him his receipt or whatever. He then stares at me again and says, you know I've been real patient for you, right? Once again, I don't even recognize him as a regular. He didn't know my name until now. So I don't know why he's been patient for me, and I didn't even know who he was this whole time. He doesn't even know me by name, so what do you mean you've been waiting for me? I just looked at him and said, I don't know what to tell you, sir. I don't know who you are, and I have a boyfriend. He was like, cool, and walked away, and then tried to ask me where I'm from and where I stay at. I lied, and I told him I live in a different town than one I do live in. But what do you mean, you've been waiting for me? There's nothing I can do about that, dude. I still have a boyfriend at the end of the day that I am loyal to. And even if I didn't, and even if me and my boyfriend worked together and I was single, I don't have to go out with you. You don't get to pull the, well, I've been patiently waiting for you over my head if I don't even know who you are. That's fucking weird. That's creepy. You can't tell me that's not creepy. You know someone's probably gonna comment, well, if he was attractive, he probably wouldn't have been upset. Shut the fuck up. He wasn't an ugly guy. He was a young, you know, relatively decent looking dude. It doesn't change the fact that he was being creepy and that I am still happily taken. I'm not going out with you just because you want me. That has to be mutual. It's not mutual. Please stop expecting random women who you've never spoken to just reciprocate your feelings. Nigga, she don't know you. I don't know you. She's not going out with you if you're creeping her out. Jesus Christ.
Fast food is not for the weak. Anybody who tells you otherwise, it's just a job, you know? There are way harder jobs out there. No shit, there are harder jobs out there. I know that. But don't act like fast food is easy too. Maybe the actual components of how to do it, yes, I can see that. There are some frustrating things, but it's overall not bad. The people are what make it horrible. You cannot convince me otherwise. So I'm gonna try and get through this quick because it's hot as fuck in my car and I need to get going. So, I had work, 5:30 in the morning to 1:30. I was opening up the restaurant. I just got off right now. I'm obviously changed because I can't film my uniform. The ice cream machine. Oh my God, I have to put it together. And I know I put it together correctly. I know I did. There's no way that I didn't. But sometimes, hey, something goes wrong, whatever. I turned the ice cream machine on after I already poured all the ice cream in, did everything. Ice cream starts spewing out of the machine. It's like leaking everywhere. I have no idea what's happening because this has never happened to me before. I've opened so many times. Me and my manager, we get it under control. We think that there was like a loose O-ring or something like that. Couldn't tell you for sure. But moral of the story, that's never happened before and it pissed me off. But it was still early in the morning, so we weren't busy or anything. So honestly, that's not the worst part of my day. I'm covering somebody for a 10. And he's the person that takes cash payments outside. There's a car at the front of the line that has to pay. I should have just sent them to window, but we're really not allowed to do that. So I take his money, his iPad, all that stuff. I walk past the other cars that have been helped to get to this car. As I'm walking, this woman with her window rolled down, she goes, God, you would think that people have never ordered at... I don't know if I'm allowed to say where I work. I don't know if anyone's going to see it. God, you would think that they've never ordered before. Oh my gosh, I've been sitting in here for so long. I clearly went into the wrong line. I should have gone into the other lane. My coworker's walking past me right now, so I don't really want him to see me crashing out. So yeah, she's going off about how she got into the wrong line and that she's so mad because the person in front took forever. I just got out here. I don't know how long this bitch in the front was here for. I usually assume that they're overreacting because usually it does not take that long. Boy, was I wrong. I was right along there beside her. I could understand how upset she was. So I go to take this woman's cash payment, and it took off some rewards that she had, and she goes, oh, can I add something else so I can get it taken off for free too? I'm like, yeah, sure. It's not a problem to add something because she hasn't actually given me money yet. So I added in for her, and then she goes, oh, you have she said a different sandwich that wasn't on the receipt. She just had a regular sandwich. She wanted a different kind of sandwich. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, they didn't put that, because I didn't take her order. I'm just supposed to take the cash. But I was like, you haven't paid yet, so I can go ahead and change that for you, because she had a reward for that as well. So she had like 4 things that she was getting for free, which I don't care. Good for you. Get your deals. So I put it in for her. And then finally we get to the part where she's ready to pay, and she's like handing me the money and stuff. And oh my God, she's like taking forever she's asked me 5 different times how much it was. I've said it as loud, as clearly as I can without sounding like I'm yelling at her. And the problem with these types of people is I can't be mad at you, because she wasn't rude to me. She wasn't mean. She was nice. I can't do anything, you know? She finally gives me the money. I'm trying to hurry up and like give her change, because now the lady behind her is like mad dogging me, like giving me the most evilest look ever. So I give her change, and she's asking if we're hiring. They were all like pretty old in the car, so I'm assuming it was like for a grandchild or something. I don't know. Why are you asking me that? You've already taken up so much of my time, and now you're asking me something else. It was so annoying. Oh my God. And I feel bad because like I can't say anything because she's not doing anything wrong. But it's just like one of those things where it's like, if you've worked fast food, you know, we gotta go. Like, we don't got time for this. You know what I mean? Because then of course after they left, now I had a super long rush that I had to get through. So that was my day. Hope yours was better than mine.
Working in customer service has made me realize there are some people that genuinely just should not be going out into public at all, period. So let me share a fun story that happened at my job the other week. So I work at a grocery store for reference, and this isn't like a big grocery store chain. There are a couple different locations, but they are all just in the state that I live in. And the type of grocery store I work at is kind of like a wellness grocery store. So we do have just the regular grocery section, but then we also have an entire section for like supplements, stuff like that. And so most of the people that come into the store are like regulars. They come in here a lot, but they're also very chill. Like, it's a very chill vibe at that store. I would kind of say it has like a hippie vibe, kind of, not really. But the other week, I had the weirdest fucking experience. So this night, I'm closing, and since it's a small grocery store, when you're closing, there is only the manager and 2 cashiers, and then the person that works in supplements. And when I say 2 cashiers, there's only 1 cashier working, like actually checking people out, and then the other one is doing like cleaning duties. So I was the one who was actually checking people out, right? And by this time, it's like 8:30 and we close at 9, so there's basically no one else in the store. It's dead. And this guy walks in, and he's an older guy. I would say probably 50 to 60s, maybe late 60s at most. But at first, the interaction was not weird at all. He comes in, he just buys some oranges. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm scanning his things, you know, it's normal. We're having a conversation like, hey, how are you doing? How was your day? Shit like that. And overall, the entire conversation and interaction at that point seemed fairly normal. I mean, he was giving me like some weird glares, but looking like this and living in a red state, I'm used to it. So I finish checking him out and I go to hand him the receipt. And after that, he gives me this weird fucking look. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm just gonna show you. He literally looked at me like, but his eyes were like completely dead. You can tell that man did not have a soul. Like, there was nothing in there. And so he kind of just stares at me like that for a good like 5 to 10 seconds before telling me, I have some words for you. And that's all they are, just words, but they seem like something you need to hear. And so already I'm like, oh my fucking God, what is this guy about to tell me? But instead of actually telling me, he has this apron on with like pockets in it, right? And he pulls out this card and hands it to me. And let me read to you what this fucking card says. The Savior will be back on January 1st, 2034. The scriptures say there will be a burning, 2 in the field and 1 will be taken. Will you be a wheat or a tare? Sexual sin makes you a tare. What? What? And mind you, I live in Utah, so I'm very used to people trying to push their religion onto me and making me feel like a horrible demon for not being Mormon, okay? Like, I'm used to that. But this card really gave me the ick. Like, it just, ugh. Especially the last line. Sexual sin makes you a tare. And maybe I'm looking too much into this, but in my mind, what happened is that man looked at me, a 17-year-old, mind you, a teenager, and thought in his head, wow, she looks like a whore. She looks like a slut. She looks like she's living in sexual sin. And so he decided to give me this card. what the fuck? Genuinely, what the fuck? And the worst part is, I know that he knew giving me that card was fucking weird, because the second he gave it to me, he sprinted full speed out of the store before I even had time to finish reading the card. Like, by the time I had already finished reading the card, he was already in his car driving away. So, if you were that fucking scared to give me this card and have me read it, why the fuck did you give it to me in the first place, you weirdo? And so I showed this to my manager. I was like, hey, this is fucking weird. Like, this guy just came in, gave me that, and then ran off. And I love my managers. Like, I love everyone that I work with except for like one person, but he's a whole nother story. And so she was like, yeah, that's fucking weird. If he ever comes in again, tell me and I'll get him reported. So thank God for that. But what the hell? Another little side note, completely unrelated to that story, but one time I was cleaning the bathrooms and this man came out of the bathroom, right? And his phone started ringing, and you want to know what his ringtone was? It was the fucking We Are Charlie Kirk song, playing full blast. And he let that shit ring for a good solid 10 seconds before deciding to pick it up, like he wanted people to hear it. And you could tell just by the way this man looked, that ringtone was not satire. Like, if you know, you know. But yeah, working in customer service genuinely makes me think there are some people just planted into the world as social experiments by the government. Because what do you mean you go out in public and act like this?
I had a girl once call me a C word and an effing loser at my job. There was a rehearsal dinner going on in the party room, and they were kind of a bit of a rowdy bunch, but we didn't mind it, honestly. They ended up leaving around midnight, which we all knew they were going to leave at midnight, so that wasn't a problem either. But this particular girl was the last one to leave besides the couple that was getting married. She came out of the back party room and started yelling at the staff, "Where the hell is my Tory Burch bag?" Like, yelling at us. "Where the hell is my Tory Burch bag? I know one of you took it." All of us just looked at each other and were like, what the hell? Like, why is she saying that we took her bag? We help her look for it, even though she was accusing us, but like, we know she's drunk, so we're just giving her the benefit of the doubt here. We're all going around searching for it, looking everywhere for it, can't find it nowhere. And then she starts freaking out even more about it. "I know one of you guys took it. You guys are all a bunch of losers." So I laugh because I'm like, this is insane. So I started laughing to my friend, like, what the hell is going on right now? And she looks at me and she goes, "What the hell are you laughing at, you?" What? Obviously, I was caught off guard by this, so I just go, "You?" She goes, "You're just a loser. All of you guys are just losers, and I know one of you took my bag." I responded to her and I said, "None of us took your bag. Like, we don't want your Tory Burch bag, I promise you." She then proceeds to yell at us and tell us that none of us are allowed to go home until we find her bag for her. We tell, like, the bride, we're like, she's trying to calm her down. And so we just asked her, like, can you check the car or something? Because we obviously did not steal her bag. So then one of the food runners goes into the bathrooms to check the bathrooms. I guess none of us really thought of that before, and they find her bag. She's still flipping out and nasty to us, calling us all losers and every name under the sun. And then just, like, her friends just drag her out and they were like, "We're so sorry about her." But I was like, how do you act that way at a restaurant? Like, I understand you got a little bit too drunk, but to be calling everybody losers and calling me the C word, that's nasty. That's crazy.
I don't know why some of you guys go to a retail store and you grab stuff without looking at the price, and then you go to the counter and you get upset when the price is expensive. Lady comes in, she's looking for some shoes for her daughter, and she looks at me, she goes, "So is like everything out? Is everything out already?" That's exactly how she talked too. I'm like, yeah, everything's out, especially at like our holiday stuff. Like, everything's out. I put everything out right before we opened. Oh, okay. Like 2 minutes go by. She comes up to the counter. She goes, "Do you think you have these red shoes like hidden somewhere? Like, do you think you could just check somewhere for me?" And I'm like, all of them are out. I already know. Like, this shoe's popular. Everything's out. And she's like, "Oh, okay, I guess." And then she puts down a gold shoe and a white shoe. She's like, well, I'm definitely getting these, so let me just put this back real quick. So then she goes, puts it back, and then she comes back, and then I scan the two items. I'm like, oh, it's $67. And she looks at me, she goes, no, $67, that's ridiculous. You're funny, I'm not paying that. And I was like, okay. Grabbed and I put it behind the counter. And then she's like grabbing her stroller, and she's getting upset. She goes, yeah, $67. She's crazy. I would never spend $67. Just say you're broke. Just say you don't have money. Why are you walking into a store grabbing stuff without looking at the price tag and putting it on top of the counter, and then you're getting mad because the price isn't what you thought it was? That's not my fault. You a brokey. Loser. Go back home. Don't shop on Christmas Eve. What?
I had like a pretty rude group of friends come into my job the other day, and the first girl came up and she was sort of like, she was kind of giving more like, I don't really want to do small talk, I just want to buy my things and go. And whenever I get that, I'm like, okay, for sure, like just buy your things and go. I got people in line, like I have other people to chat with, I'm not worried about it, you know, like if that's your vibe, that's your vibe. So I'm sort of just checking her out, and I'm like, yeah, like got everything done. And then she's like, and a bag. Oh, okay. Yep. So I get my little hand sanitizer because they're recycled bags and they're hard to open on their own. And I get her a bag and I open it up. I throw her stuff in. I hand it to her. And then her next friend comes up, throws a piece of candy on the counter, like a candy thing that you buy, like one of the little tubes. Throws it on the counter and taps it like this. I was like, is that going to be all for you today? And then she, like, looks over and she's like, oh, guys, is that all for me? Is that all for me? Or do I want another one? And then she grabs another piece of candy, throws it on the counter. She's like, that's good. I'm like, okay, grab two more. She's like, grab two more, why? And I was like, because it's buy two, get two free. And she's like, okay. So she grabs two more, throws them on the counter. And then I check her out and I say her total. She's like, and it's buy two. Like, why did I grab two more? And I was like, because it's buy two, get two free. She was like, how much is each one of them? And I was like, $8. She was like, okay. And then I, like, put her stuff in the bag. When she pays with cash. And again, after I told her the total, she's like, oh, I thought I had a 20 in here. Guys, I thought I had a 20 in here. I don't have a 20 in here. So she gives me 2 5s on the counter, totally fine, and then just starts throwing dollar bills on top of the 5s, doesn't straighten it out or anything, they're all facing different directions, and then she just puts her hand on the cash and pushes it towards me. Okay. Alright, doesn't hurt me any, but I didn't really think much of it. You know, like, you get customers like that. The thing that got me about it was that after her was this woman who was just, like, a really sweet woman. And she comes up to the counter, and apparently I was making a face, right? It's like, sometimes your face has subtitles, you can't really control that. But I think I was just sort of, like, staring at the computer, like, wow, that was rude in my brain. But, like, not really making a thing of it. And she comes up and she's like, wow, that was rude. And I was like, yeah, you know, but, like, I think it's just more of a performance thing, like, when teenagers are around their friends. Like, I think they're not really thinking about it. And she goes on to say, like, yeah, but you forget that other people exist when you're so focused on the people you're trying to protect. And that's how people grow bad reputations and don't know why they have them. And I was like, oh, like, that is so true. And then that got me thinking, like, have you ever had a friend who is so kind to you and so wonderful around you, and when they're around you, they treat people well because they know that that's what you value, but then you don't know if they're around someone else that they're trying to impress, how they treat the people around them. You don't know if you're the only person that they're kind to because you're the only person they care to impress. Like, there are a lot of aspects to who someone is as a person, and that is why I don't just go off my own impression of someone. Right? Like, I'm sorry, I do take smack talk into account when someone's telling me something about someone. Like, if you tell me someone treated you badly, I'm not going to say, well, they're fine with me. I only judge people based off of my experience with them. No, I'm gonna keep that in the back of my head. Like, because people really do act differently if they're trying to. It's manipulative, really, but, like, that, you know, that word is kind of thrown around, but it is. It's manipulation to, like, treat certain people differently because you want something out of them, because you know how to make them like you. And I just think that's something we need to keep in mind. Like, if you have someone you really like, maybe think about what they might be like if they're not around you, if they're around service workers alone, if they're around service workers with people who treat service workers bad. If you have a boyfriend who around his buddies is maybe a little bit not PC, But around you, he's fine, and he just acts like that with his friends. Who's the common denominator? Like, what if that's his real way he acts, and he just acts a certain way around you because he wants you to like him and stay with him? Just food for thought.
Welcome back to this episode of What the Hell is Wrong with Taco Bell Customers. I had a man ask me if he could take me to Pennsylvania for the weekend. What the fuck is in Pennsylvania? I pulled a guy because we were waiting for some fresh chalupa shells or whatever. I told him I'd bring his order out, and he asked me if I could personally bring it out because he wanted to see me. Absolutely not. This guy was standing at the front counter. We told him that it was kiosk only, and he looked at us and said that was bullshit and walked out. Some lady came through the drive-thru last night and ordered like 4 mixie melts, wanted sour cream on them, and then came back later. This bitch came back later with a half-eaten order talking about it was not made right and it looked funky and it didn't look like it was supposed to be eaten, but she already ate it and it was fine. But she made us remake the mixie melts because they weren't supposed to have sour cream, even though she specifically asked me to put sour cream on them. I don't know. Had a lady, she ordered 7 beef soft tacos. Beef soft tacos, confirmed it with me, confirmed it with her, you know what I'm saying? She paid for it, even made sure that they were beef, came back in after she got her order, yelled at us because they were supposed to be chicken. Lady, they were not supposed to be fucking chicken! An old guy was literally leaning over the front counter looking at her floors, and he pulled the manager aside and told her that she needed to do a line sweep because he didn't want anybody to fall. Keep in mind, there was 3 fries on the ground and maybe a bag. There was nothing on the ground. We closed early the other night, closed at like 12, so we were breaking everything down early. We had no fried foods, you know what I'm saying? No nacho fries. We got a call at 11:59 asking if we could serve nacho fries. We didn't have any, so we told him no. He yelled at me and told me that I need to make him nacho fries because he's sitting across the street and watching us. So I gave him the phone to the manager, you know what I mean? This guy gets on the phone with the manager and starts yelling at her, demanding food and demanding to be served, but we have nothing to serve him, so she tells him the exact same thing that I just told him. And he, again, tells her that he is watching her from across the street and he's going to file a complaint with corporate and make her lose her job. I don't know. I took this guy's order, and when he came and seen me at the drive-thru, he told me that he would never hire me at his job because of my facial piercings and my tattoos and my hair. Sir, I would never want to fucking work for you. What are you talking about? I had a guy complain to me about the prices. I said, I don't know, sir. I just work here. I don't make the prices. He goes, yeah, I know. You don't make the prices. If you made the prices, you would be in corporate, and then me and you would have an issue if you were in corporate. What the? I want to add something good because my Taco Bell is great. I love the people that I work with. They had a guy come through, and he said that he was driving for hours, had no money on him, hadn't been able to eat in like 2 days, and asked if we had any like food that we had fucked up or anything left over that we could give to him that he couldn't pay for. Luckily for him, I had just fucked up a big order, so he got a whole bag of a bunch of goodies that we obviously couldn't serve because it was the wrong order and was given to the wrong person, you know what I'm saying? We gave him like a little free water cup, and let me tell you, I've never seen a grown man inhale a fucking taco in literally 2 bites sitting at the drive-thru and having a full conversation with me. Never happened before, but I am so glad that we were able to help that guy. It made me so like blessed that I work where I work, you know? There's this customer that likes to come in, he loves to shit talk us and we can shit talk him back and he takes no offense to it. I literally love this guy, like, thank you.
Get ready with me for the gym while I tell you a little story time about how I lasted 2 weeks in a fast food restaurant. So I actually got the job through a friend and I was immediately put on as a supervisor. So I get the job and I do about, I kid you not, maybe like 12 hours of online training. I was going for this job. It was actually during a cyclone. All the stock in the fridges went off, so we had to get new stock. So I thought, I'm the only one in the store because after like my first shift, he was like, you can open the store. Comes in on my first open and starts yelling at me that one computer isn't on. Sorry, like you've only showed me once, like I'm not gonna know everything. There was a massive language barrier between me and this man. He comes in after yelling at me, saying that he's gonna fire me on my second day after it's my first open because I didn't log on to one computer. Yelling at me, saying that he didn't believe me about all the experience, saying that I'd lied on my resumes. I was like, it's your due diligence, I don't know, to call my references. Like, they're there on my resume. You're more than welcome to call them. No, you're a liar. And I'm like, call my references then. Call them up. And he's like, I will. And I was like, okay, let's go. I'll get her on the phone right now. Call her up. And he's like, oh, like, was Ruben a supervisor? And she's like, yeah, he was amazing. Like, right. Full vouch for me, had my back, and this man starts shaking because he's so scared because he made a fool of himself. I'm sort of getting bored of this story time, so I'm trying to get it like out as quick with making as much sense as possible. Mansplaining everything, I'm just gonna say, off food in the freezers, 48 hours, kept the food, cooked the food. There was ammonia in the dough, like heavy grade cleaning product. He used the same bucket to put cleaning product in and mop the floors with as the one that would measure the water to make the dough, so there was traces of ammonia in the dough. So then he had like everything open in the fridge, like all the stuff that was used to make the stuff in the make line. When it was put back in the freezer, he would actually leave it all uncovered and like basically on the floor next to each other, so there was so much cross-contamination. here's some photos. So that's everything uncovered in the fridge. I don't even want to know what that is. Cross-contamination that was shaken on the pizzas before they went in the oven, and that's the bucket in question. There was just a lot of other unsanitary things. Found out from another co-worker, he was so scared that he had a baguette working for him, and I was like, I'll just quit. I'm just gonna quit. Briefly sums up my 2 weeks in the fast food industry, and can I just say never again. And I have so much more respect for people who work in that industry.